Yes, we are live. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am very delighted to welcome you to Growth Beyond Limits. If you are joining, do it to say hi in the comments. I want to hear you. Tell us where you are joining from. And I must say, it's a pleasure having you join us this evening. I'm truly excited having you join us this evening. So let me know where you are joining from. Tell us your name and where you are joining from. We'll be glad to celebrate you. So, ladies and gentlemen, without wasting time, um, I think we will get started. Others will join us and they can, of course, watch the sessions later on. So, my name is Dr. Undo Jacob Fati, the host of Growth Beyond Limits podcast, a monthly podcast that focuses excited. Today, I'm very excited to have a very sought after speaker, Mr. Jonathan Issa, as my guest this evening. Hello, Jonathan. Can you say hi?
Hi everyone. It's good to be here. It's good to be doing this with you this
Thank
evening.
you. Thank you. I'm very delighted to welcome you, Jonathan. And so, if you are joining wherever you are joining want to listen to Mr. Jonathan firsthand, don't wait to come and watch later. You may not have the opportunity to ask him the questions that you can ask this evening. So please do it to share with because they are going to learn. Without wasting time, I would like to introduce to you a guest speaker, Mr. Jonathan Issa. Jonathan Issa is fondly called PJI. Is a common, uncommon polyhistor, author, and speaker with a deep-rooted passion for grassroots human capacity building, continuous learning, and knowledge advocacy across Africa. As a certified management consultant and fellow of the Institute of Management Consultants, Jonathan combines strategic foresight, critical thinking, and poetic delivery to cultivate a generation of Africans passionate about reading and actively engaged in knowledge acquisition. With, with a degree in education and biology from the Federal University of Agriculture, Makurdi, Jonathan launched a lifelong mission to empower Africans through literacy and a culture of continuous learning. As the president and lead strategist at I Read Africa Consulting, he has led a remarkable literacy revolution, inspiring over 3,000 young Africans in 15 countries to cultivate consistent reading habits, averaging more than 50 books annually for the past 5 years, while building a sporting community and network of knowledge-driven individuals across the continent. Jonathan is the author of 6 books, including bestsellers Public Speaking on Max and The Uncommon You. If I were you, I would definitely check those books after this podcast. He is also the convener of Detox Campaigns, a movement designed to reduce time spent on devices, inspire deeper human connection, and provide immersive experiences with books across shared his insights on platforms such as Jobberman Career Fair, Made in Nigeria Summit, Global Medical Conference, and has appeared on national television, including AI and NT. As a committed lifelong learner, Jonathan has enriched his knowledge through several global programs, including DEXA, an open door University UK's project management course, Godney Leadership Masterclass, Wisdom Speaks, India's Act of Social Enterprise program, and Behavioral Science and Public Policy offered by the Institute for Economic Development at the World Bank. Jonathan's leadership and advocacy are marked by critical observation, strategic foresight, multifaceted knowledge, humor, and poetic delivery. He eloquently champions the uncommon gospel, disrupting unhealthy growth and impending conventions. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Mr. Jonathan Issa. This evening, you are about to listen to the uncommon gospel. I must say, it's going to be interesting, it's going to be life changing. Welcome, Mr. Jonathan. Good to have you this evening.
Thank you so much for having me. It's an evening session. 4 p.m. is not the usual time of sessions, and I like it. So I'm confident that we will have a good conversation nonetheless. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Jonathan, for coming on the call this evening. I know your schedule are always tight, and thanks for accepting to be our speaker this evening. So, today we are going to be discussing personal growth as the foundation for entrepreneurship, the foundation for successful entrepreneurship. So, that is our topic for discussion this evening. So, Mr. Jonathan, let me start this way. Um, a lot of young people believe that money is the first thing to seek for. You see a lot of young people focus on making money first, but you are an example of someone who has built a career, you have built a journey, showing that learning and personal growth come first. So now, can you share why investing in yourself through learning is the most powerful way to earning?
Okay, thank you. Let me start by probably mirroring in on why it's that way. Money is the biggest incentive in the world. It's the number one reason why people take action or don't take action. Trust me,
Mm,
uh, you will know how powerful money is when it is offered to you beyond what your current scope is. So there's a kind of money Dr. Jacob will get now. He may shut down this podcast for a minute. That was in a light note, but it's beautiful to just see it from that lens and then interpret it on a pedestal that is relatable. So for me, I understand that regardless that it's the biggest incentive in the world, it is a reward for value. It's a reward for value. If you get money for no reason, it's purposeless, right? You don't just have money for nothing, right? Money is like a reward for value, for the production of value, or for the extension of value. And so if the conversation now leaves just the having of money, as it is, wealth in your hands, to how it is acquired, to the process that undergirds the acquisition of that wealth, then you now realize that personal development and development, as it were, plays a critical role. So, uh, learning does not just precede earning. Learning is before earning, during earning, and after earning. So you learn to earn,
interesting.
you learn while earning, you learn after earning. Let me just let's
Wow,
even be frank.
interesting.
Wealth is a corridor you arrive at not just by the acquisition of money, but the management of it. So you
Hmm,
can earn so much and still be broke if there is no wisdom to manage what is
wow,
earned. So,
that's true.
so wealth management sits on two ladders. Wealth, as it were, sits on two ladders: the acquisition of wealth and then the management of wealth. Right. So you need
Management.
money. You need money to come in, and you need wisdom to make money come in. You also need to have the wisdom to manage what has come in terms
That's
of
true.
the preservation of it. And the preservation of wealth begins, let me maybe attempt to say, across three ladders. First is acquisition of more wealth, that's cash flow, which is king. Then basic savings, and then the multiplication of wealth, which is by investment. So you will see that there is no layer within the entrepreneurial journey that wisdom is not required. And what I have even described is within a personalized, a personal enclave, one person, one person, one person. When you now take it up to organizational level, you now realize that the wisdom to manage humans, you need to learn to know it. The most complex set of creation, right? So you would require even heightened wisdom to be able to still manage it. So there is no part of the entrepreneurial ladder that is deficient of wisdom. And wisdom is the application of understood information. So learning exposes you to information, that's knowledge. Knowledge that is understood, right, that's comprehension. The understanding of knowledge, that's comprehension. Wisdom is the application of that knowledge you've comprehended. And so you see that it plays a significant role. Let me give one more difference, just one more. What we call action is a function of knowledge. So it is the number one reason why people move or don't move is because they don't know to move. So if you know what to do, you will do what you know. So just to give
Wow.
you a example,
Interesting. If you know what to do, you will say that again, please.
here to help you understand the role of knowledge. Yeah.
Interesting, interesting, interesting. I wanted to get the last line you said. I think if you know what to do, then you will do what you know. Something like that. Can you say that again? Okay, I think we are having a bit of a network glitch. Okay. So far it's getting interesting already. Jonathan said something that it's truly gets incentive in the world and a reward for value. And of course, money is needed at every point, but it's not the only thing needed. You need to start with knowledge, and that knowledge can lead to you creating value. Okay, I think we're having a bit of a network glitch. Let's give him some time to join back. If you're just joining, please do it to tell us in the chat where you're joining us from. We'll be very, very glad to know where you're joining us from. Okay, just a minute. Okay, just hold on, please. Okay, welcome back, Sir Jonathan.
Thank you
Sorry
so
for
much.
the network. Interruption. Yeah. So you said the last line. I was trying to get the exact thing you said about action, the relation of action to knowledge. Please, can you say that again? I
Okay, so
strongly believe
I, I,
our audience would like to get that.
I believe that action is knowledge dependent. People don't do because they don't know to do. Because if you
Hmm.
know better, you will do better, right?
Powerful. Powerful.
So it's just very basic for me, and I think that's just it. Yeah.
That's true. That's true. If you know better, you will definitely do better. And I hope that everyone on this call will begin to see the correlation between knowledge and earning. We begin to see the correlation between knowledge. Jonathan said earlier that money is the biggest incentive in the world. But then you should know that money is a reward for value, and that value comes based on what you know. You cannot give from an empty bucket. You cannot give what you don't know. And so it's so interesting already. And every layer of your entrepreneurial journey, you need knowledge, whether you are beginning, whether you started already. Because if you don't get to learn more, then you are definitely going to go back to square one. So it's already getting much more interesting, much more interesting. So Sir Jonathan, let's get a little more practical now. Maybe we're getting you share your personal experience.
Okay.
Yeah. So how? By the way, you read over 100 books every year. That is really inspiring. I mean, it's what a very few percent of people do. A very and it's really inspiring. So I every time I'm having conversation with you, they are always deep conversation. I must say, and management. This is the way you manage your business. This is the way you manage people. And I would like you to share from your personal experience how your personal journey of growth, intentional learning, has shaped you, and helped you approach entrepreneurship in a different perspective. How has your personal learning, personal growth helped you address entrepreneurship in a different perspective entirely? You read a 100+ book every year for the last how many years now? So yeah.
Yeah, I do. I do. I can't deny that. But the truth is, my mind towards it is the fact that I don't want my leadership style to be unconventional. So it begins for me in the way I lead myself and the way I lead the organization that I run. I don't just believe in picking things line and sinker, you know. So the way the father that fathered us, the way they did it, those kind of, no, I don't believe in that. I am wired to be honest, unconscious, to be very conscious of my surroundings.
I don't know. I think we've lost the network at some point. Okay, please let's give Jonathan a few seconds to join back. I think he has a network glitch again. Yeah. How the experience so far in the chat box. Oh, really, really love to know how the session has been so far for you. It means a lot to us. Yeah. Okay. Welcome back, sir. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I don't know whatever reason the network keeps kicking me out, but I'm sure um, I'm not lost. So I think
No, not at all.
I was trying to explain how that I am wired to be so conscious of being unnecessarily loyal to what is not working. And so my tentacles are on the lookout for unconventional approaches. And so because of that wiring, it requires that you know a bit or a lot of what is working and what is not working. So because on the path of leadership that I've chosen, you have to know what is not working to know what is working. And you have to know what is working as to know what is not working. So you realize that it it helps me have a broadened internal environment and an understanding. So you are both solving problems, right? You are both solving the problems for those who have the challenges they face, and you're also providing strategies for people who are doing well, who are doing better. So it helps you realize that. So it makes you relevant to both the sick and the healthy. Yeah.
That's interesting.
So to bring it to entrepreneurship, it means that your market is full. Your solution base is diverse. It means that you can multiply solutions. Tonight, I'm teaching time management mastery. Here, I'm currently talking on books, personal development and growth. Here, tomorrow morning, I'll be teaching on faith. So it's a mix. It broadens your horizon, and what it means is not necessarily what you call decentralized energy. It's not that you are everywhere. No, it's that even the place you are focused to be, you have depth behind it. There is a weight that broad-based knowledge gives you. So your focus is not because you are deficient. Your focus is because you are prioritized. So I am not just focused on teaching personal development on this call because I don't know other things. It is because we have prioritized it as a conversation for this session. So even to the people who receive your solutions, you are appealing. All right. You come off as you're appealing. You have an appeal towards them because they now realize that you are deeper than the current flow. So there is more where that came from. That consciousness, that there's more where that came from. For public speaking, which is something I actively do now, you will now realize that you don't end your delivery because you are exhausted. It's because you want to end. So I'm going to stop talking
I
now.
agree with you.
Not because I don't have what to say. It's because to move on to another question, and all of that. It plays a role, and so you have so much to pick, from the broad base. For me, finally, would be the role personal development has played for me is that the more I interact with systems, processes, documented, I now understand people from a deeper perspective. So my leadership style is simplistic, right? It allows people. I usually say that it's like the cross of Calvary. It allows people
Yeah,
to come where they are, right? The reason I can make those allowances and those accommodations for people is because I have read, I can interpret experiences based off of the knowledge I have. I can
that's
study
true.
patterns. The ability to recognize patterns is a bliss that comes from multifaceted knowledge. Oh, if
Mm,
he does it like this, does it like this, does it like this, he will get this result. So you see it like a
that's
small
true.
gym, and you can point it and say, it won't work. And then people go and try it and it doesn't work. Come back to you and they're like, You are relevant to the degree that you can solve problems. You're also
Mm,
relevant to the degree that you can anticipate problems.
wow.
And Anticipation is one of the biggest gifts of the time. Those who see before, what is called foresight, have the advantage in this day and time, and it's something that we should really consider. So knowledge helps you have the ability to anticipate, the ability to foresight. Yeah.
Wow. It's already getting interesting. I mean, now if you are joining, please don't forget to tell us where you are joining. You can share your thoughts. Let's know what you are learning. We truly, truly appreciate that. You said something that I truly love. That going for unconventional approaches to entrepreneurship, to management, and all of that. I totally, and I think every entrepreneur, for every entrepreneur to stand out, he truly needs to not to follow the conventional path. He needs to take an unconventional path, because most of the time the conventional path makes you like everyone else, and
Absolutely.
entrepreneurship has a lot. The more you stand out, the more your chances of success. And
You just
so,
said right. The strength of entrepreneurship is in uniqueness.
amazing, you've made it.
Selling proposition, unique selling product, unique selling plan, it's your critical success factor as an entrepreneur.
Actually, and that is possible through deliberate, intentional learning. In our schools, what we are taught is very conventional. Everyone knows what we are taught, and what distinguishes us is what we deliberately on our own decide to seek for. I
Absolutely.
think I always think the university is that knowledge by ourselves. And everyone that is very intentional in terms of seeking knowledge would definitely have that unique selling point, unique doing point, and more in whatever they are doing in entrepreneurship. So that's very interesting. And it's glad to know that your knowledge has helped you to solve problems for the healthy and the unhealthy, the healthy and the sick. That's
Yeah.
that, that's quite interesting. I mean, and solving problems and not just solving problems, anticipating problems, having that foresight to solve problems. And I believe that everyone on this call is able to learn from that. So, Sir Jonathan, I want to ask you. A lot of people, maybe they are young entrepreneurs who maybe the whole of last year they've not finished a single book. Now you've read 100 books. You read over 100 books every year. Is that possible for anyone else? Is that possible for anyone else? Maybe somebody who has been struggling and all of that. Is that possible?
Yeah. So I would have just said yes, but I want to say yes in a way that it will make sense to you. So I'm not excited because I read over 100 books. It no longer excites me. I'm now excited for
That's
people who
true.
have never read a book reading 70 books in a year. That's what excites me now. People move from reading 0 books to reading 70 plus books, 50 plus books. And what we do at I Read, is that we move those kinds of people to shock themselves.
That's
So
true.
maybe just to tithe, 3,000 persons cannot be wrong. Yeah. So if what I have done and what I now teach, 3,000 persons have now done it and it works for them, I believe that's enough proof, social proof, as it were. So yeah, of course, it
That's true.
works for anybody, anywhere. The thing is, and maybe let me just give a hack, a little tip. If you
Okay.
read one book in 6 days, it means you'll be able to read 5 books in a month. You'll be able to read 60 books in a year.
That's true.
Basic. So it means that if we do not develop the discipline, then we're going to say it is impossible. But 6 days is too much to read a book. 30 pages a day times 6 is about 180 pages. That's about the
Yeah.
size of it.
That's true.
So it's just basic discipline, and you don't need more than an hour in a day. Of course, you need a lot of accountability and all of that to stay consistent, and that's why organizations like I Read exist. But and people like me, that's what I live for now, to ensure that you shock yourself, But the wisdom here is to first realize the need for information. Um, I don't read as a hobby. I read as a necessity.
That's true.
I look at where I am going and understand the cost component of going there. One of the critical requirements is knowledge. So I
It's
look for
knowledge.
knowledge because of where I'm going. Yes,
That's true.
it's possible. Very possible.
Possible. Amazing. 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 I think maybe those that are hearing, I read for the very first time, and Jonathan has a 50 plus African countries. And what I read does is to it gives you the model that holds you accountable, that makes you want to read, that makes you really, really read, not just want to. Because having passion is one thing, and having the doing is another thing. So I read is that hope that you should think of. And if you want to join I read, you can drop a comment here, and I will be able to connect you to Jonathan, or you can message him across social media handles, and you will be able to reach him to be a part of I Read Hub. And whatever you need to be part of that, you'll be communicated. But I can vouch for that. I've been part of I Read community, and I can vouch for that it's one community you want to be, because you can't be in a community that everybody's reading and you're not reading. It's alone, it drives itself. So yeah, another question. Still on reading and seeking for knowledge. Entrepreneurship journey is sometimes it can be mentally exhausting. You have, especially for beginners, you are the CEO, you are the sales rep, you are the CFO, you are everything. And it can be mentally exhausting. And sometimes it feels like this studying of a thing, let's make it a later time. This studying of a thing is not possible. What is your advice on that? Building that discipline to still strive for reading, to still strive for knowledge in the midst of a tight schedule, in the midst of an overwhelming work culture or work schedule as a young entrepreneur.
So let's be very honest with ourselves, and probably I should throw the question back to you.
Okay.
Um, is it going to ever get less busier?
No, 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 you can't.
So you will look back and realize that this is the least busiest period of your life.
Hmm, that's true.
So there is there's never going to be. If I'm thinking about it, it cracks me up literally. There's
That's
never
true.
going to be a more free time. It gets busier.
It's true.
When I was in the university, and maybe I should say that we went to the same university. Um,
Yeah,
I led, I was in leadership positions, and I used to speak 4 times in a week, right? And
that's true.
I feel tired. Like I'm like, you're doing 8, 9 meetings a week, 10, 12 meetings sometimes, and you're like,
Exactly.
what's going on here? Back to back, physical, virtual, physical, virtual. And so I'm realizing that I'm glad I maximized that period. I'm glad
It's
because
true. It's true. It's true.
yeah. So you don't realize that it's not going to get less busier.
It's true.
Secondly, you will realize that um, even the challenge called uh, time management, busy schedule, I'm still doing everything myself. It's knowledge dependent.
It's true. It's true. It's true.
If you
Very true.
know, if you know, there is somebody not having the problem you have.
It's true. It's true.
So it's as simple as embracing the solutions. And it's it. maybe I'll recommend a couple of books to people to really start with. It's beautiful to just see how much a single book can change your life. Like one of the books I read last year, if I may, that did it for me is Good Strategy, Bad Strategy by Richard Rumelt.
Okay, good strategy,
Bad Strategy.
bad
I ran
strategy.
a bookstand. When good books, you just find them in random places, and it
It's true,
redefined
it's true.
strategy for me. It changes my mind. Good Strategy, Bad Strategy by Richard Rumelt. Maybe if I'll recommend two other books for a foundational person, you need to read my favorite book of all time. It's a book by Kit Harrell. Kit Harrell, Keith, Kit Harrell. It's Attitude is Everything. And the fundamental idea I picked from the
Okay,
book is it it takes you the same energy and attitude to do things across board. So let me say it this way: if you have if you have a if you have notoriety, like if you're known for not completing a project, you
yeah,
would like to be completing other projects. Let me give you a very basic example that we can relate with. If you
yeah,
wash your clothes to an extent and you probably keep some later, you realize that you probably also will do the same thing with procrastination of projects. You would be very comfortable with grades like B or C during school grading. You will somehow get comfortable with mediocrity. So it's an attitude at one is an indication of your attitude at all.
mm,
So I
that's
think
true.
someone when he says how you do one thing is how you do everything.
Mm, that's true.
So it's an attitude. As a public speaker, if you put five persons before me, it doesn't change my attitude. I've spoken for you 2 or 3 times now.
Definitely.
Same
Yeah, yeah,
energy.
yeah, yeah, very well.
I don't care. You know,
It's
you know,
true. It's
because
true.
uh, it takes one good delivery to get another one.
That's
For instance,
true.
we have a social platform now. Somebody's going to watch this for 100 years. Somebody's going to keep watching this video, can come back to it anytime.
Definitely.
So it doesn't matter. I don't have to be too casual because I'm talking to maybe a couple of persons. No, it doesn't matter, right? So
No,
that's
no. Yeah.
and finally, I'm in between a book, but let me recommend Compound Effect by Darren Hardy.
Okay.
Um, it, it's a good book for an entrepreneur. It gives you the mind that your first 2 3 years can be slow, but when the
Yeah.
results of years combine, you will be amazed at yourself. You understand? You will realize that life
Yeah.
compounds, and so those good. Richard Rumet's Good Strategy, Bad Strategy, Attitude is Everything by Kit Harrell, and Compound Effect by Darren
Compound
Hardy.
effects.
Yes.
Interesting. Interesting. Interesting.
The
Yeah.
reason I'm
So
recommending books in that direction is because there's a mind of the entrepreneur that is more important than even the act of entrepreneurship.
that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. Um. I mean, that's really, 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 really true. And I think that touches on the next question I wanted to ask about mindset. But
Oh,
I will still ask it anyway. uh, I know mindset has a lot, like you said, to do with entrepreneurship. In fact, because we are talking of learning, 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 and learning, I think a lot of people, the problem starts from mindset. It starts from having that mindset that it's possible that regardless of the busy schedule, regardless of the uncertainties, regardless of everything, I can still develop myself regardless. So there are young entrepreneurs that don't believe it's possible still. So what are your thoughts to, or what is your advice to that kind of young entrepreneur who thinks that this reading of a thing, we've said it again, but I just want to you to touch on the fact that how can such a person rework, re-engineer their mindset?
let me say something that's very funny, but it's very profound. we need to ask ourselves, where is our mind?
Hmm.
Because of the Nigerian face, I get mind. I get mind. People think the mind is here. It's here. It's here. I'm having so much fun. I'm having so much fun. To be very honest. So we need to ask ourselves, when you think your mind is here, you will think that it is
Yeah,
macho. You will think that it is strength, like you need to exert force. No, it's not macho.
it's true.
So everything you are doing that is mental is a function of your mind.
That's true.
Even
That's true.
strength is a function of your mental strength.
That's
When you
true.
lift
That's true.
a weight, if you lift a weight, your mind gives it before your hand drops it.
It's true. Very true.
So that's how powerful it is. So you will not realize how integral it is until you now understand that the location is here, right? It plays that role in every single decision you take. Let me give you an
It's
example.
true. Yeah.
Be- the mind plays a role in affecting how we interpret environments. I say something now very often, that your current environment by might be your jurisdiction of operation, but
Think we've lost the network. Okay. I think we're having a bit of a network glitch. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you are having a great time this evening. I hope you're learning. Feel free to share in the chat box what you're learning. By the way, thank you, Dowisu. Yeah, learning is before earning. Okay, let me accept a speaker in. Um,
all right. Thank you. I think
okay,
I'm back.
yeah, glad
Thank you.
to have you back. Yeah,
So I think I was advancing the thought where I was connecting mindset and environment, right?
very well, very well.
Your environment can be your your jurisdiction of operation, but it is too small to be your motivation.
Hmm, that's
So
true.
you need to do something to your mind to be bigger than where you are.
That's true.
Because if your mind does not go beyond your current environment, you'll be limited to the scope of that environment.
That's true.
So you cannot earn beyond that environment, you cannot build beyond that environment. And all of this is internal. So I teach a principle I call supported mindset, that I can interface so much with what is obtainable in the kinds of locations that I desire so well that my mind expands and exposes itself to live in London, for instance, while I operate.
That's true. It's
So
true.
it's still working. So I go and study what works there, how it works there, and I operate it. Because there's excellence for your level, there's excellence at every level. So my concern necessarily is everything else is already pointing you to failure. You must be the least participant with that. And not saying that is your response, it is your mind.
That's
And your mind.
true.
So if your mind is not set to things that are superior to what you see, You cannot do things beyond what you. I used to teach my mentees. I said,
That's
I at a point I started shopping intentionally with my cards. That means I only could do things. I was very young, way, way younger. Maybe I'm talking many years ago now. So if I cannot pay with my card or a transfer, I cannot buy from there. Just basic things. So it means I had to locate a mall, had to look for a proper supermarket, I just stopped buying even food. I stopped buying food from certain kinds of places. It's just very basic. If I cannot pay with my card, I'm not buying it. I,
that's
I, I
true.
I can't quantify in words what that did to my finance as a person.
It's true. And it's a product of mindset.
You just grow. You just grow. You just notice that you just grow.
Yeah,
If you enter a supermarket and you swipe your card, it means that you trust the content of the card. That's what you don't want to hear the point, right?
definitely.
Yeah. So
Definitely.
you don't afford before because your mind, so your finances, your entrepreneurial journey will grow to the level of your mind.
Definitely.
Yeah. So that's my 2 cents on that.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. So before I give the participants the room to ask their question, so by the way, if you have a question, this is almost the right time. You can start typing your question. So once I give the room, you can ask the question. So Jonathan, let me ask you. I've heard people say 52 books, a whole lot of different thoughts. What is your recommendation? Question there. Let me leave the question there. What is your recommendation? 52 books, 100 books, 1,000 books. What's your recommendation? And some people feel reading so much, some people feel you need to digest certain information very little by little. Maybe I pick a book, I need to read very deeply, very slowly to digest what I'm reading much in terms of let me digest so much or so fast. Can you talk about the correlation between the two and maybe what should be a standard for entrepreneurs?
You're really looking for trouble. Trust me, because this conversation is real debate. Because this is what I live for now. To be very honest. Okay, so let me begin this way. How large is your vision, and what does it require to get there? How much information do you need to get there? And how much of that information do you currently have? If you do this honestly, you will see the far-fetched gap. I tell you, if I read 1,000 books now, I don't think I have met the requirement for the vision God has given me. So the big question is, how much is enough? How much is enough? Like, how much is enough? Is there excess knowledge? Right? Yes, excess knowledge. Because
Yes.
it now brings to the second part of your question. I have a completely different understanding of the applicative dimension of knowledge. You
Okay.
see, we don't knowledge is not applied instantly.
That's true.
All knowledge is not applied at the same time. So you will learn in 2024. You will have occasions to deploy that knowledge, some of it in 2024. You may not
Hmm.
have things to deploy some of that knowledge until 2028. because every information has its own day of manifestation.
That's true.
So the goal is to ensure that the knowledge you need is the knowledge you have.
Mm.
That's right. That you reach a point where it is not that they now say, give us this knowledge, you then not have it. Do you get my point?
Very well, clearly.
That's the idea. So because we are not applying knowledge at the same time, it means that you are going to need, you may learn 10, apply 2 now. The 8 is not a waste. The 8 forms the base, because one thing people think is that the whole application of knowledge is garbage in, garbage out, and it's a joke. All right. The whole application of knowledge is, garbage in, garbage in, garbage out, as it were. So it is not that, right? It is not garbage in, garbage out necessarily. It is you intentionally realizing that when I learn, it's not just what I give off, it opens up a whole new dimension to me. It's a better way to put it is that it enriches my internal environment so well that it now gives me the privilege to excel in what is called cognition. All right, the singular ability to move from the known to the unknown, and that's one of the powers, right, that knowledge has. So when you gather information, it's not la cram la pour, like we say. Right? It's not you consume, you dish out. No, it's not. It's not garbage in, garbage out.
It's
It's not.
true.
Is that that information gives you what to give out when you need to, but it stays in your environment as the base knowledge for divergent adventure in the realm of knowledge. So the reason why, if I say
That's true.
something you can understand me, is because you know something about that thing that I am not even saying now.
It's true.
So the whole idea of personal development is not new to you. So when I teach things like conscious ignorance, intellectual curiosity, oneness, and I make allusions to the fact that the knowledge you need must be the knowledge you have, you can relate with it because there's a trajectory, there's a pool of information that is already available to you.
That's
And so
true.
that is it. You cannot tell a young person, your brain does no. The brain does not have a limitation. So any
That's true.
counsel, no matter how eloquently delivered, that inspires a young entrepreneur to operate in mediocrity in his quest for knowledge is the wrong counsel. You will realize on your day of manifestation that you don't have enough.
It's true. It's true.
That's it.
That's really,
Can
really,
you hear
really,
me?
really amazing.
I can't hear
Yeah,
you.
clearly, clearly. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can't hear you.
Okay, you can hear me.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
No, no, no. Still, we can't hear you.
Okay,
I
let
don't know
me
if
try going.
your mic is
With.
unmuted, but we still can't hear you.
How about now?
No, still.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Is it just me? Because I can't hear you.
Wow. Can you hear me now? Hello, Jonathan. Can you hear me now?
No. I hope it's not just me. We
Wow.
will get some
And
feedback
I
in the
can
chat.
hear you. Okay, let me try rejoining.
I think I lost you when you went off
Just a
because I
minute.
can't hear any sound from you at all.
Okay. Let me know if you can hear me now. Can you hear me now?
At all, except I.
Can you hear me? Okay. Okay, my apologies for the network glitch. Okay, Jonathan is back.
I can hear you
Okay,
now.
can you hear me now?
Yes, yes, I can.
Okay, interesting. So sorry everyone for I believe you can hear me clearly now. So if you have questions, you can start dropping them now, and Jonathan will be glad to answer you. So you said something that truly interests me. You said the knowledge you must be able to have the knowledge you need, the knowledge you need to go to where you are thinking of going. You now lack. You just discover that you lack the capacity to sustain that position. So I think every entrepreneur joining this conversation gets to learn that big multinational business you want to build, you need to build capacity for it. As the opportunity can come, the funding can come, and you will discover that you don't have the resources to manage people in your company, you don't have the resources to manage people in your organization, and more. So, as young entrepreneurs, you must be intentional, very intentional about knowledge. And the good thing about knowledge is, or the good thing about the brain is, the more you learn, the more your brain begins to, should I say, expand. The concept of neural elasticity. Your brain begins to, expand. The capacity to retain information begins to increase. And I think every young entrepreneur needs to know that the more you are using your brain, the more it develops capacity to assimilate information, to be able to retain information as well. So thank you so much, Jonathan. I'm waiting to take questions from um, our, our participants. But before then, or while we wait for them, I would like to know your closing thoughts. I would like to have your closing thoughts or your closing advice to young entrepreneurs. Probably, maybe we'll do it this way. One, for people who have not started, yeah, they're having this idea of going into entrepreneurship, but they've not started. And two, for those who have started, your advice with regards to knowledge, with regards to personal development, with regards to building a culture, the discipline and the culture around personal development.
Thank you. I think it's a straight one, if you ask me, and it has to do with, for those who have not started, start. That's just a start. Um, there is no improvement where there is no commencement, and there is no success where there is no improvement. So you will not know what can be until you begin.
Mm,
You will, you will be amazed, right, by what can come out of it. Interestingly, I started in my dormitory in the hostel in Fairview, you know. And we started with 19 people. Now we boosted a community of over 3,000 persons.
imagine.
We started so little that Um, because we're talking entrepreneurship, our entire revenue for the first year, in- yeah, that's how much it was. A whole year, 19K. That's not even up to what corporates are collecting now, right? A whole revenue for an organization. But
Okay, the network is breaking. Okay, I think I lost you a few seconds ago.
can you hear me now?
Yeah, perfectly.
I said that our whole year revenue for I read as an organization in the first year was as low as 19,000 for a whole year.
Yeah.
That's less than a corper's allowance at the time, I think.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so it just like a whole year. I mean, 365 days complete, 19,000. But that's how we started. But we're no longer there, obviously,
That's
right?
true.
A lot has gone forward. A single sign up now is about that for us.
It's
We even
true.
have bigger than that now. So it just starts. That just starts. That's my counsel to the man who has not started. For Mr. Jacob, I think your video is paused, so you are like permanently stuck on one spot. We can't see you move. Yeah, your video. It just started. It just fixed. But I think we
Okay, how
can.
about now?
No, no, it's not. Don't worry, we can continue with it maybe because of the network. Um,
Yeah, we can continue. I hope it gets rectified.
yeah, yeah, thank you. So for the entrepreneur rather, pardon me, who has started seek mentorship, seek mentorship. Don't allow anybody bastardize mentorship to you as a young person. I'm teaching something actively now. I'm even writing a book to that effect. Nothing beats the combined strength, combined force of the wisdom of the young, of the strength of the young with the wisdom of the aged. Nothing beats it. That you are in a place where you can marry your energy as a young person under gray hair is beautiful. Seek mentorship. It's a hack that only people could know. I love to say that I am a man of authority under authority. Right? I have the privilege by God now to be in two spaces. So I mentor and I'm mentored, and I can tell
Yeah,
you, it's so. I feel like telling people that this is the cheat code of life.
it's true.
And sometimes I feel like opening my chest, just busting it open and pouring it into. I mean, get a mentor, get a good mentor. I know that there are bad mentors out there, but get a good mentor, right?
That's true.
So mentorship does it for me, and of course, there's no end to learning. So put yourself in places and spaces that intimidate your mediocrity, that insult your
That's true.
mediocrity. So don't be a village champion. Don't be a one-eyed man in the land of the blind. Right? Put yourself in spaces. So sometimes when you think you have read over 100 books every year for the last 4 or 5 years, you now think you've known something. Intentionally, I go and listen to some people, the likes of Uncle Leke Elder. I know Dr. Kunle Sorion. When I hear them teach, I just tell myself, "You've not started, bro. You've not started." Yeah.
Yeah.
So it gives you an edge, as it were. Yeah. So that would be my counsel.
Wow, 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 wow. Interesting, interesting. So for a young entrepreneur who has not started, the deal is in the doings. So start right away. Don't wait forever. You start and you learn on the process. And for those who have started, seek mentorship. Keep learning, and there is no limit to what you can become. I have this testimony, maybe before we call it a day. Around you. We started, and for me, one of the things that stood out for me was seeking mentorship, seeking knowledge. I knew that I didn't have the right information. to really really get to where I wanted to be. I kept seeking information, and I mean, this year I saw a lot of a new level entirely. I remember I told my team that we're going to organize one of the largest one head summits in Africa. And we started last month. It started like a child's play. And as of today, we had over 800 registered participants across over 40 countries from Asia, from Africa, Asia, Europe, and South America. Now it dawned on me that the extent to which we can go, we are our own limitation. The limitation is us. It's not external. It's internal.
Yeah,
If
we
anyone
are
told
one
me,
village, we are one village people.
yeah, if anyone told me we're going to put up that event together, I would say no, it's not possible. But today, I look at the registration from over 40 countries across Nigeria, across Africa, Asia, Europe, South America. I'm amazed. And this is the same thing to entrepreneurship. You can build a multinational company, you can build the biggest company in your field. This is to every entrepreneur on this call or whoever will watch this. You can do it. So,
Yeah,
like Jonathan said, seek mentorship. And if you have not started, start right away and seek knowledge. And you will soon realize that the biggest limitation is not external, it's not your village people, it's you. As you begin to get information that you need, you will discover that the journey is not as hard as the world presents it to be. So, thank you so much, Jonathan, once again for joining us this evening. It's been an amazing 1 hour plus of conversation, and I'm truly, truly, truly honored having you. And thanks for always answering whenever I reach out to you. I do not take that for granted. Thank you so much, Jonathan, and thank you for everyone for joining. I will get the book recommendation and share in the chats, in the comments, so that anybody watching can get them easily. And don't forget to subscribe the channel. This podcast we organize it monthly, so we're going to have another session by next month, a new speaker. So I look forward to seeing you again. And whenever you watch this video, please do it to share with others. So thank you once again, Jonathan. You may want to say hi before we call it today. Thank you. Thank you
thank you
so
for
much.
having me. The frequency of the time you invite me, you probably would offer me something like a wife or something one day.
Definitely, definitely. I think we'll get to meet probably later this year. Maybe we'll discuss that later. Physical engagement or more. Yeah,
Oh, thank you so much. Bye,
yeah.
everyone.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.